Okay. In my life, yeah. Let me go ahead and do this. Since StreamYard is since StreamYard is messing up with the high traffic, let me go ahead and say this real quick. I'm not going to, this has been mighty frustrating all day. Um, this shows that what everything Signifier said, you know, and I will provide the link to this and the link and the timestamp of his lot of his video. This shows that he doesn't want solutions. Okay, and I'm getting really tired of people like him getting in the way. I'm really getting tired of people like him getting in the way, sucking the air out of the room. Because first of all, he's a black man, right? And since he's a major black content creator, everybody knows, right? He's not trying to identify the source of the problem. Now, everybody else knows what the problems are. I mean, shoe on head, she's identifying the problem. Professor Scott Galloway identifies the problem. Everybody is everybody who is not black is identifying the problem. And you cannot solve a problem when you cannot identify what's going on. And it's really getting on my nerves. Hold on. I need to see think. Oh, okay. It's been. Oh, okay. You've been back from the funeral. My condolences, Hammer Time Funk. My condolences. You know, you got to sit there, and if there is a social problem, you can't just say it's the man's fault. It's young boys' fault and lay it at the feet of young boys, as if young men have the key to everything. They don't. This issue that we're having with male loneliness, and why young men gravitate to the manosphere. They gravitate to the manosphere because of policies that's been decades old. We got a housing problem. We have a educational gap. We got all these little issues, and the thing is saying that the left does not have solutions for the working class blue collar man. You try to sit there and say, well, it's a cop out. That's bullshit. It's really bullshit. Anybody can go to back in time, look at revolution, every revolution, every war, civil war we have. It's always somebody feeling so downtrodden that they went to the extremes. The Spanish Civil War is a prime example. See, I'm gonna keep on saying. I see America, in my opinion. I'm a student of history. America does the same thing, is doing the same thing that the Spanish did before the Civil War. Spain used to be a great empire, and it lost its position in global affairs. And ever since it lost Cuba in 1898, and it lost the Dominican Republic before that, and it lost the Philippines, Spain went down a spiraling hole where their own leaders was not respected. The institutions was not respected, and then young men come back from wars that they have lost, and they now was not receiving respect at home. And even the working class men back then was not was looked was frowned upon. So these men gravitate towards the extremes. You see, Epstein Signifier claims to be an intellectual, but he's not. He's not an intellectual. Why? Because if he was one, he would use historical evidence to back up why men are gravitating towards fascism and gravitating towards Trumpism on this illusion that there's a well, it's not illusion. Let me back this up. Let me back off of that. Under this war on masculinity, if you're going to identify the problem, you cannot have a solution to a problem. I mean, you can't even identify the problem and sit there and get on your video and say it's a cop out that the left didn't have solutions for the straight working class man. That is bullshit. It is not a cop out. It's not been a cop out for the past uh, 20 years. Left wing policy did not include head the working class blue collar man into the conversation. And what FD just did on that video proved between that 7 minute mark and that 9 minute mark of that video proves that black men don't want to solve their own problems, because black men always think that they can make money off the problem rather than solving that problem. He's no better than BGS at this point. BGS is man. He's no better than BGS at this point. He's no better than Angry Man at the. He's no better. All he is talk about Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels. First of all, Kevin Samuels is no longer here. And the things that had started, the manager started long before Kevin Samuels got here. And let me also say, Kevin was not about, to be fair, Kevin wasn't really manosphere per se. even though he hung around in space, even though he gravitated to the space itself. So how are you going to talk about something when you know nothing about it? How are you going to solve a problem when you don't immerse yourself in this issue? See, the way to stop the manosphere and to destroy the manosphere, you have to create policy to get young men to stop following the red pill ideology. The reason why the red pill is a sucking hole. It is. The red pill is like a black hole, right? The red pill is a black hole. It sucks things in. And there's a lot of reason why men goes into the red pill and they get sucked into it. They get sucked into it because of they perceive how the world perceived them as a heterosexual male. A man back then, a man in our father's generation or even our grandfather's generation, a man by himself could buy a house and can pay a mortgage for 30 years off of his own income alone. He can't do that now. He can't sit there and work at a warehouse plant, a warehouse. He can't work at a um being an auto mechanic, being a plumber, and have a household all by himself. Makes no sense. And this is why young men, because some of these men, much of these men wanted to create families at some point, and because there is a gap in education and housing and what may have you, he cannot achieve, uh, or it's harder for him to achieve that that goal, and because of the hopelessness that they're in, they gravitate to the red pill. See, back then in the 1920s and 30s, because I'm going back to pre Civil War Spain, Spanish men who the Spaniards of the 1920s and 30s experienced the same thing. The Spaniards of the 19 post World War One experienced the same problems that American men or Western men are experiencing now. So because of that, everybody gravitate to the extremes. It has always happened in history. People gravitate, especially the lower class man, the working class man, gravitates towards the fringe groups. And the manosphere is a fringe group. MGTOW is fringe. If you want to stop people from going to the fringe, you got to create policy in order for most, if not all, these men can make out of their their precarious position. It is asinine to sit here and think, well, it's just his fault. Yes, it is the fault of some of these men that be a bunch of misogynistic pieces of shit. It is the fault of some men to be grossly and disrespectful. But don't act like that's the only problem. Because the red pill sucks others in based upon what's going on in society. Robespierre would have been a nobody if it wasn't for the French Revolution. Robespierre would be some, you know, Napoleon would be some idiot. The French Revolution gave Napoleon and Robespierre they pushed them into they pushed these two men, these two lost men into the fringe because there was no solutions for them. So they looked up to a certain figure and say, "Well, let's behead the king and queen. Let's behead King Louis. Louis. I think Louis. What's his name? Louis the 14th. Louis the 16th. Let's behead the king, and his queen, Antoinette, because men was grabbed because the lower class of men was pushed to the fringe of society. Robespierre and Napoleon. General Franco of Spain in the 1920s and 30s. You push these men to the fringes, they become violent. Or they become so enamored that they distrust everything, so the society breaks down because they can't because there's no faith and trust in their own community. So therefore society breaks down. You got to know what the hell's going on in order to solve the problem. And FD Signifier does not want to solve a fucking thing. And it's proof that black men don't want to solve anything. Because if you going to keep talking about the problem and you keep on talking about the problem, but yet you don't want to identify what is causing the problem, why young men are gravitating toward, you can't sit there and say, well, it's daddy's fault or it's mama's fault. There are too many people around here saying, well, I try to talk to my little cousin. I try to talk to my little brother. I try to talk to my, try to talk to my son, not to watch Obsidian, not to watch Anger Man, not to watch Fresh and Fit and Rollo Tomasi. You can't just say, "Oh, it's just the parents. It's just uh the patriarchal dad." No, you can't keep on saying that. No, what you say is a cop out. There's two things going on. Yes, the men online are assholes. We all understand that. We all understand that the men on here are assholes, and these men are using young men's of partnership with women, and even partnership with 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 other men. So they use that to these create these challenging podcasts, and saying that women are all their problems, pushing these young men to believe there is a conspiracy against them because they're heterosexual and male. You can't get a job because of the black woman getting DEI. We're going to destroy the Department of Education. We're going to vote for a candidate to destroy the Department of Education because black women are the most quote unquote educated, while your black ass ain't is not educated. Because black women being educated is the reason why you're single. See, you got to identify what's going on, because people will take propaganda and use it on younger men, so younger men can say, "Well, I failed because of the outsider." See, BGS don't want solutions either. Anger Man does not want solutions either, because it's about money. It's about money for Anger Man, money and power for Anger Man, and it's about influence and attention for BGS. And y'all can't sit there and grasp the concept. Now, I was going to do that live stream this morning. I put the live stream on private, and since StreamYards now is crashing, I decided to go on restream and do the restream because it's crashing, because StreamYard is crashing, so I can't even do my graphics and all that. So I have to come back over here. But it's really getting frustrating where people are, and I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this too about FDC Signifier, right? FD Signifier is one of these men who is placating to the white liberal elite. This is part of the reason why the Democratic Party lost in November. Instead of addressing the concerns of the working class individual, the middle, the working class, the blue collar worker, they want to play the artsy Harvard level of politics, the the Ivy League university class politicians. And FD Signifier is being the good Negro to the white liberal establishment. He's just a Negro with dreads in his head, dreads, dread. I think that dreads or braids, whatever, long hair, and he's looking the quote unquote radical, with so who want to quote Karl Marx and Kahn instead of quoting the 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 New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. It's the economy, stupid. If you fix the economic conditions for the working class man, for the common man, there be no excuses for young men to look up to a Myron or a or Coach Greg Adams or any of these idiots online. Not even Nick Tao, not even the SYSBM, not even the red pill community. Half of those guys would not even show up, if not 75%. You would cut down. I bet you if you can cut down, you can stop the manosphere to a grinding halt if all these men had access to mental health, access to housing, access to cheaper, affordable education and affordable housing. So that won't be pushed to the fringes of society. So it's not a cop out. Okay? It's not even a cop out. And let me say something too. Because somebody told me on a certain Discord server with Big J, just be a regular nigga. I don't know who this person is, but let me tell you something. I refuse to be the regular nigga. All right, I'm not going to play in the background. Well, Anger Man can get away with shit. While BGS can have his little dugs and get away with shit. We at a point where society's about to break down. We at a point that Western society is about to break down. And nobody don't want to put their finger on the button on what it really is. I know. Listen. D Chicago. That's a problem. What what person is going to sit there and live off of live with a mortgage of 1800? Who? And then we gonna turn the women to women and say, well, you're getting a welfare check, you're getting section 8 housing, you blaming her for getting section 8 housing and having college debt, but the mortgage in Illinois is 1800. Now, if it's that high in Illinois, I would I would shriek of the average mortgage in California. Hell, even down here in Texas, even down here in Texas, I'll be like, oh my god, I forgot the mortgage in Texas though, because I'm not looking for a house. I already got me a house. See, I was lucky that I was, you know, but for everybody else, getting a house and live in that house, can most of these guys afford that 800, 1800? No, 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 because people don't want to talk about wages. and people being wage slaves. I'm gonna say it right now. Some of us who are talking are wage slaves. I know. That's why. That's why though. That's why I shriek when I look up. Oh, D Chicago is more than that. It's more than that. It's more than that. Yeah, it's more than that. D. It's more. It's more. It's more. It's more than 1965. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. Pin on what county you in. Especially if you up in Travis County, which is Austin. Man, don't. Uh, Austin's like what? A mortgage in Austin is what? Tanya, almost like eighth of a million, quarter of a million. D Chicago said that's the point, Tanya. They don't want to be red pill about real life, but they be red pill to women. I just Googled, so you could be correct. Cause yeah, I'm down. Me and Tanya are in Texas, so she up in the Dallas area. She's up in the Dallas area. So I can imagine how much mortgage is up there. You know, but if you go to Austin, like Travis County, Hayes County, and look at the mortgage, Bear County, where San Antonio's at. Look at the mortgage. Nobody don't want to talk about that because it has something to do. Because in order to create a family, that man, I'm talking about the men first. I'm talking about the men on this, mostly to men, primarily to men on this, about men. You have to have a job to hold that mortgage. But when you go to this job, the wages does not the way. Okay, if you're talking about the wages, right? You have to have electricity, the water. You have to have the taxes being paid. You got 4 or 5 things to worry about, and all of them is high in price. It's up there in price. Women should be the last thing. What a women do should be the last thing on your mind. Right? Hold on. That's yeah. That's about right, Big J. Chapel Hill in Louisville house are 350 to 2.5 million in a gated. Yeah, exactly. So when empty signifier is talking, he knows nothing. These men, if you look at the manosphere, those men who goes in the manosphere channels, right? Look at the background when they on these panels. Look up behind them as they spewing their little misogyny and nonsense. Look in the background. You said, yeah, car note, phone bill, gas, food. Yes, car insurance, health insurance, all of that. D of Chicago, but nobody don't wants to talk about that. Yeah, how home insurance plus flood insurance. You be living that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Them property taxes are the devil, and you ain't lying about that. Let me say something. I'm broke because of property taxes. I'm broke. Property taxes breaks will break my ass. Listen, I'm broken over the property tax. Property tax is no joke in Texas. Everybody told, oh yeah, we don't got no income tax. Yay, yeah, okay, all right. No income tax, right? Okay, but look at how high the property taxes are. But people can't sit there and grasp the concept. The manosphere failed these boys. I'm so glad I never donated. Something didn't just smell right. It never did. I never don't donated. Now I know some idiot is going to say, "Well, Big J, uh, well, Big J, didn't you donate to Obsidian?" Because I know some idiots going to try to say, "Big J, you're being a hypocrite." No, I donated. I super chatted Obsidian so I can get a question answered from him. But I'm not donating $50, $10, $50, $20, $100 to somebody over the course. Now that was just a that was two three super chats because I know some idiot is going to try to remind me I'm a hypocrite. Nah, I super chatted, re questions, trying to get an answer out of him. So let's not do that bullshit. I'm talking about being a faithful, regular person who don't donate. I'm talking about in that realm. They're trying to cut or remove property taxes in Florida. Yeah, I heard. Hold on. How come the chat is ain't showing up? How come the chat box ain't showing up? He said, D Chicago said I had to move my buddy to a basement of my two flats because he could afford 1100 a month. He's a single guy. These dudes are really struggling, so they're lashing out. Yes, people are lashing out because of the struggle. They cannot afford anything. How you going to have now if you just started out for a person who just started out, right? Who just started out, come out of their parents' house. You just started off with what? In 2025 money, you started off with what? 14 $14 an hour in Texas. Mi, 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 the minimum wage in Texas is $14, right? Which is a federal mandate that is $14 a month. So you coming out the house with $14 a month, your house is your flat is two at least 1,500 a month. You're not going to survive on that. If you're trying to get in an apartment, get a flat somewhere, and they said it's 2,000 or 2,100, or over $1,000 a month per se, you're not going to make it. Especially when you got a house, especially when you got a car, insurance, and utilities. These people are coming online to lash out, and it doesn't do better when you got the people on the left, like FD. People on the left, you said, "Oh, it's your fault because you are a man, therefore you are at fault for everything." And you're 25 years old. He's telling this to 25-year-olds. While you get older heads like BGS who's doubling down saying, well, it's the black woman's problem. Is the black woman in the Monahan report is the reason why you failed. It's because black women in the Monahan report. They don't want solutions. Okay? They never have, never will. On both sides of the argument, they do not want to solve a damn thing because when you solve a problem, therefore it's, you know what, I'll say it in a better way. I'll say it in a better way. You do not call an arson with a water hose a firefighter. Firefighter's job is to take the fire out, is to put the fire down. An arson is somebody who starts a fire and then he grabs a water hose pretending that he's watering it. And that's the problem with a lot of these content creators. They claim to put down the fire out when they're the ones holding the water hose and the gasoline on the other. But anyway, I said enough. And since ScreenYards has crashed, it's crashed, and I was trying to do a live stream for the last hour or so, and it kept on saying we can't do it, it's crashing. But these older heads in the management is hitting on these young men's women and still losing out. Yeah. The platforms are based upon expecting these issues and not expecting no progress. You're right. You're right, man of tomorrow. Oh, let me say this too about the people who says I'm a coward. You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone because I gotta go. I gotta go. But to like the people who says I'm a coward, the one of you, I'm gonna say this to one individuals. I said I'm gonna tell you this, and you know who you are. I allowed you to talk. Yeah, they have big issues with the internet in some platforms. Yeah, cause my ScreenYards crashed. I was like, what the hell going on? It's been going on because like the live stream I did this morning. It kept crashing on me. So I got so pissed off that I left. I said fuck it. I put it on private. You know. So I went to my restream and decided to do it because StreamYard is crashing. What the fuck going on StreamYard? But anyway, BJS is a fraud. He literally said his daughter is dating a blue collar guy, but doesn't want to marry him because she wants to do better. He's helping her with the kid. Shouldn't he tell that guy that? Right, exactly. He really believes it's BS. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say this too, though, right? I'm telling you this. I'm giving you enough rope. So so the guy's telling you to lower your standards, Big J. I get it. Yeah. But let me go ahead and say this real quick. Um, to the guy who said Big J's a coward, he's a punk, woo woo woo, nigga. I'm gonna address you because I know this gonna get back to you, right? I want you to understand something. The more you talk, the more you're gonna fuck yourself up. I'm allowing you to keep on talking. I'm not talking to BBGS. I'm not talking to AB Media. He know this person who wants to jump up into this beef. I'm a, see you over there trying to lapdog on BGS now. Since you don't want to keep tagging me and shit, and with all the shit you been saying, keep on saying it. That's all, and that's what I'm going to tell you. Keep on saying that shit. It's kind of like a phrase, you know. You might want to be like that owl, right? Something about wisdom, nigga. You said too much about yourself in your little quote unquote community tab while you tagging me in your community tab. You said too much things that I'm not supposed to know, and you were trying to check me by comparing yourself to me, soldier. While you call me a preacher and you call yourself a soldier, you said a little bit too damn much about yourself. Don't worry, nigga, cause I already screenshot your shit though. Don't worry, I already screenshot your shit. You open up your mouth too damn much. And I allowed you to keep on talking. And this is how reason why nigga you ain't that damn smart. So you gonna go back to your channel, get on the community tab, and say CBC and all that retarded bullshit you be saying. Because you trying to protect the manosphere. You trying to protect SYSBM. You trying to protect MGTOW, all that, right? You said a little bit too damn much in your community tabs and your videos about me. Things I ain't supposed to know. You open up your mouth up too damn much. Now I'm going to say it again because we already know, nigga, you own the spectrum. I suggest, nigga, you stay out of my beef with BGS because you're looking for attention. And nigga, I don't know if you want to understand. I don't know, nigga, if you can sit there and grasp the concept. But you just sunk your own ship. It's like a World War II thing. Loose lips sink ships. Keep on talking, nigga, cause you already poking holes on your own boat. An owl is a wise bird, my nigga. An owl is a wise old bird. The more he talk, the less he listens. The more he listens, the more he knows. The less he talks, the more he knows. You keep talking. You keep talking, trying to be the Avenger of the men's space. But you just fuck yourself up by you keep on talking. You've been talking for months. You keep making videos about me and tag me on your fucking community tab for months. And then since me and B just going at it, you decided to jump up in that chat room on BJ's channel and was telling May that Big J is a big punk. I saw you in that chat room. I don't think you don't know where I'm about what I'm saying, do you? I don't think, nigga, you got two brain cells to understand what I'm actually telling you. But it doesn't matter, nigga, because you already fucked up. You should have stopped this shit back in December. You should have stopped saying that bullshit. You should have stopped talking shit to me back in December. For real. Anyway, let me jump out of here. Y'all be easy, and I'll see y'all next time. I might have to use since StreamYard is crashing out. It might be crashing out for the next couple of days. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna go back to over here to re-stream and do my live streams over here. So yeah, I might have to pay this $15 a month over here too though to use it. I'm just using the free, I'm using the free thing now. But if StreamYard keep fucking up, I'm going over here and pay my $15 a month and have at it. So anyway, I'm out.